This is Stephen E. Arnold. DarkCyber is our new series of videos about online access related to the dark web, cybercrime, and lesser-known internet services. This week's story lineup includes information about our new program series, which begins in November 2019. The Chinese cyber warriors take on side gigs. Amazon is being used as an attack platform, and fake paper misconceptions. Our final story is clothing, which baffles surveillance systems. Now, our August 27th, 2019 program. This DarkCyber program will be the final one in our first series of shows. Starting in November 2019, we'll begin a series of videos about Amazon's law enforcement and intelligence services, what we call policeware and intelware. Each of these shows will run about 10 minutes, and we're working on them now. Our topics will include surveillance hardware and systems, the Amazon data marketplace, and partner and integrator solutions. Watch for an announcement of these shows in our blog. DarkCyber learned that some individuals in the Chinese government's Central Military Commission's Cyber Operations Commands allegedly have set up side gigs. According to MIT's Technology Review, the cyber warriors use their skills and the government systems to steal digital currency. Other cyber operators break into digital game companies and steal the code for digital powers or special tokens. Now, these digital artifacts then are resold to gamers who are eager to gain an advantage. Among the cyber tools the technicians use for these gigs are backdoors, credential stealers, keyloggers, and rootkits. Now, the operatives involved in these break-ins and cyber thefts are part of the Chinese government, and the units use different military unit covered designations, like APT-16 or Panda. Some of these cyber operations allegedly originate at universities, for example, Jiaotong University in Shanghai and the Normal University in Beijing. Plus, regional research centers may be involved as well. For example, the Wuhan Research Institute of Posts and Telecommunications. Are the managers of these units ignoring their cyber specialists' side gigs and side money raising? Well, that is possible, and having proof of an operative's improper behavior may have significant social and political value. Proofpoint, a cybersecurity firm, reported that its researchers tracked a phishing campaign in July 2019 that ran from Amazon's AWS cloud. The approach used spoofed email that looked like a notice from DocuSign, a company which provides automation services to small businesses. The Proofpoint research describes the use of Amazon AWS as a fairly uncommon practice among phishing actors monitored by the company. But DarkCyber thinks that Amazon's role could be important. Now, the details of this exploit are explained clearly in the Proofpoint report. Proofpoint's researchers identified that these URLs used in the phishing campaign were registered by a Russian domain registrar. Proofpoint noted, while all phishing was hosted on AWS during this period, in some cases the actors used other public cloud infrastructure to host specific resources for the landing pages. The report concluded, threat actors and most recently phishers have been able to evade detection by using well-known and trusted consumer cloud, social networking, and commerce services to host malicious phishing kits. DarkCyber assumes that Amazon, like other cloud providers, does not want to become the digital aircraft carriers used to fire malware at people online. Net, bad actors are now leveraging cloud services like AWS, and DarkCyber thinks Amazon will face increased security scrutiny going forward. The alleged human trafficker Jeffrey Epstein had multiple passports in his possession at the time of his arrest. Where did he obtain these? Some people point to the dark web as the most direct method for obtaining a fake passport and supporting documentation like a utility bill and a driver's license. One British newspaper reported this month that dark web criminals are selling passports. The story focused on the 447 passports lost in the British Postal Service in the last 5 years. The idea is that these passports ended up on the dark web. But DarkCyber thinks that the story is more complicated. In 2015, numerous dark websites offered fake passports. However, crackdowns by Europol and other law enforcement agencies have taken down most of these vendors. And the technology used for legitimate passports is getting more and more sophisticated, and this makes it more difficult for a black market forger to produce passports that will allow the person to sail through an electronic border check. So how does a person obtain a passport that works? One answer may be to identify the countries which sell golden visas, for example, St. Kitts and Nevis. The government of this country offers the St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Program. Established in 1984, this program grants citizenship through a donation or a real estate investment. Now, a person must qualify, and the passport obviously has a price tag, which is going to be much higher than the costs quoted on the dark web. The individual who wants a St. Kitts and Nevis passport must make either a minimum donation of $150,000 to the country's Sustainable Growth Fund or an investment of $400,000 or more in real estate. St. Kitts and Nevis will also add fees for miscellaneous charges and due diligence. And St. Kitts is not alone. More than a dozen other countries offer similar programs. What are the consequences of getting caught trying to cross a border with a fake document purchased on the dark web? Each country has different regulations, but typically detention, a ban, a fine, possibly an arrest, are representative. Net, fake paper is risky. A second legal passport is expensive, and either approach invites a question. Why do you have these documents? A fashion trend that may be of interest to Hong Kong protesters and dissidents, as well as to people in the U.S. who don't want to be monitored by surveillance devices, is now available. The new product niche is called Adversarial Fashion. For people who want to wear more than a ski mask, there are now t-shirts, jackets, and skirts, and other items of clothing specifically designed to make it difficult for certain surveillance systems to identify an individual. The idea is that the clothing contains designs and colors which confuse these automated systems. Now, you can purchase these items at the link shown on your screen. And there is an interesting presentation by the unnamed artist who created this trend. This presentation explores the technical weaknesses of widely used surveillance systems, like those for facial recognition or license plate reading. Now, these adversarial fashion methods are not foolproof, but they can make it more difficult for smart software to figure out who is in an image, or they can garble the output of an optical character recognition reader. More information is available at the URL shown on your screen. For more DarkCyber news and information, read Beyond Search, our free weblog about online services and sources. We'll see you in November 2019. This is Stephen E. Arnold, logging off.